Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we are going to be reacting to ranking the greatest all-time point guards from every NBA team. Video by Austin Sweat. Link to his channel in the description below. And I'm going to say straight up, man, I don't want any Isaiah Thomas slander in this video here, man. Like, hopefully he is respectably ranked out there. We all know, back in the day, Michael Jordan had to be a crybaby and keep this man off the dream team and stuff like that. Like, imagine choosing freaking John Stockton or Christian Ladle over Isaiah Thomas. Like, straight up, man. Like, really, that foreshadowed Michael Jordan's career as an NBA owner. Just that move right there, right, man? So, yeah, I mean, you can say I'm wrong about that one, but we all know Isaiah Thomas was straight up disrespected, so we're going to hope in this video, I'm going to say he's at least got to be, Magic, Isaiah Thomas. Should be top 2 point guard. I will settle for top 5. Here we go.
Here, ranking the greatest all-time point guard from every NBA team, and we're doing this for
Yo, who's 30 gonna be? Terry Rozier of the Hornets?
Real fans may remember, this is something I started to do about 2 years ago, but after I started, some of the videos started getting taken down, but now I'm confident that won't happen. So here we go.
Thoughts change?
Now, there's only 2 rules for the video. The first is that a player can only be used one time, so
Fair.
while CP3 is the best point guard for both the Clippers and the Hornets all time, we're only gonna put him for the team that he played best on, which was the Hornets. And the other rule is that we're basing this off of how good players played for that one team.
Best point guard on the Thunder all time, too.
We're not going to rank guys like CP3 for
What's up, Russell?
well
I'm just joking, Russell fans. Calm down.
How well he played while he was on
Calm down, I'm just joking.
So let's get into this.
Kinda.
With number
I'm joking.
30, the
Kinda.
Mavs
Joking.
with Derek Harper. We're counting Luka Doncic as a small forward in this series, so he doesn't count here. And Jason Kidd and Steve Nash are the Mavs' true best point guards, but since they'll be used for other teams, that means Derek goes down as their best point guard.
Okay.
Sadly. Number 29, the Clippers with Ron Harper. I mentioned CP3
What about
wasn't gonna be in the
B.
spot, and after him, the list of Clippers' all-time point guards is pretty weak. So the spot easily goes to Ron for having a few
Right,
good
wasn't B.
years
Diddy on
while
the team?
Sucked. 28, the Pacers with Mark Jackson. Mark's a good point guard, but also really had no competition here, besides maybe a guy like George Hill, or the current day Pacers point guard in Malcolm Brogdon, which really isn't too much competition. 27, the Grizzlies with Mike Conley. And he was a great all-around point guard for them, but still was never an all-star, and right now the biggest accomplishment to his name was for being a good sport and winning the NBA horse competition.
I mean, he beat Chauncey Billups. He beat Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot himself, so I will say that's probably greater than any MVP award you can hand out.
Number 26, though, goes to the Bucks for Eric Bledsoe. I mean, for a team that really didn't have too many
I'll take Conley in his prime over Eric Bledsoe.
It's still a tough one to choose between Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Jennings. Oh, and by the way, Oscar Robertson doesn't take this one because he'll be mentioned later. But it was a split decision, and
yeah, he'll be for the Kings, right?
He doesn't shoot too much and plays much better defense, unlike Jennings. 25, the Wolves with Sam Cassell.
Sam I am.
I would want to give the spot to Zach LaVine, but only based on their Timberwolves days.
Cassell had a nasty back down move. Used his big ass body and bumped you and shot it.
Rubio.
It was nice.
But while Sam only played for the Timberwolves for 2 years, he was an all-star as part of one of their
Used
best
to practice
teams
it.
ever that almost made the finals with Latrell Sprewell and Kevin
But then I got
Garnett.
too chubby.
24.
So I knocked people down.
76ers with Ben Simmons. And before you say anything, Allen Iverson
was
played
the
shooting guard for most of his career, so he's going to be in the next video. Besides that, though,
people always want to argue with you about this. Eric Snow was the point guard, and I believe Aaron McKee played point guard also. Iverson was the shooting guard who handled the basketball like a point guard.
There was no competition for Ben. It was pretty
even on the
ranking
Nuggets.
Because he's
Anthony Carter was the point guard.
He's a near triple-double, but because he's still early into his career and still has a few problems with his game, we didn't want to rank him too high. Number 23, the Hawks and Trae Young. And Trae ranks ahead of Ben currently in the NBA.
What about
so
Lou
ranks
Hudson?
ahead of him here.
Wasn't he a point guard?
More experience, especially
Doc
in the
Rivers.
playoffs, Trae is gonna continue to move up on this list in the future. 22. The Rockets with Steve Francis. A lot of people put James Harden into the spot for the Rockets, but I feel like it's cheap to do that. Sure, he played better in his 1 year at point guard than any Rockets player ever has.
They have Calvin Murphy.
Played the point guard position in their careers. And for the Rockets, that guy was Steve Francis, who averaged a solid 26 and 6 for them before things went, downhill. Number
Steve
21,
franchise.
the Nuggets with Chauncey Billups.
Yo!
Billups played his...
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a good picture of Chauncey, man. Bro, I'm about to make that. Right now, Blake Griffin's my wallpaper. But damn, that's a nice picture. Okay.
Best basketball for the Pistons, but that spot will clearly be taken. But hey, he still makes it for Denver and plays
Luke Kennard, of course.
just as good there, alongside Carmelo Anthony, helping take the team to 50-plus wins for 2 straight seasons, and the 2009 Kobe Bryant-led Lakers to 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. And
love
for
that,
his efforts,
man.
he made the All-Star team in both of those.
Greatest
years.
leader in NBA
He
history.
wouldn't always put up the craziest stats, but he always did make his team better.
He was always in
20,
control.
the Heat with Tim Hardaway. His best years were definitely spent on the Warriors, and his game slowly declined while he played
Mario
for the
Chalmers?
Heat, but he still had a couple of solid years while he was there.
Daquan
Most
Cook?
notably his 1997 season, where he led them to 61 wins and to the Eastern Conference Finals, of course losing to the Bulls. 19. The Hornets with Kemba Walker.
Oh, there we
And
go. Yeah, of
no,
course,
we're
Kemba,
not
of
gonna
course.
Put Muggsy Bogues
Of course.
here. And the Hornets Chris Paul played for are now the Pelicans, so we'll get to that one later on. As for Kemba, though, he really has developed into a top 5 or 6 point guard in today's game, especially thanks to his last year in Charlotte.
Pistons
But
could have had
his
him.
lack of playoff experience
Went with
really hurts his
KCP,
ranking.
I believe it was.
Number 18, the Wizards with John Wall. And I mean, let's not forget just how good Wall was, just because
I like John Wall a lot. I do. I think I'm taking Gilbert Arenas in his prime over John Wall. Gilbert Arenas in his prime, it wasn't a very long prime, but if you know, you know, man. Like, straight up, Gilbert Arenas, yeah, that guy was a walking bucket, literally.
because the Wizards are terrible now and his career might not ever be the same. But the man does deserve to
I'll
beat out
take Gilbert.
Arenas, and there's good reason. He led Washington to the playoffs pretty much every season, and in his last 2 postseasons, the man
Yeah, but
averaged
Magic-
26
okay.
and 11 a game. He was always consistent throughout the
I
year.
like John Wall, I'm not
he just
mad.
never had the help that he needed to take his team to the next level. 17. The Raptors
Kyle
with
Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Yep.
And Lowry's the definition of just a solid all-around point guard. And for years, I didn't give him the credit that he
I'll take
deserved
Wall over
because
Lowry,
he
though,
would
in his prime.
constantly not show up in the playoffs. But now, since he was able to help the Raptors to their championship and didn't have any games where he just completely disappeared like he used to, I feel like I can give him some of the credit.
Yeah, I remember that game in the finals where he started off like 5 for 5. Like, we all thought he was gonna choke, and he just pops out there, man, and just makes like 5 straight buckets. It was
deserves as
nice.
a point guard. At
In the
least
finals last year.
until next postseason eventually comes around, and we see how well he plays again without Kawhi. But until then, I got him here. 16. The Celtics with Bob Cousy. Alright, listen. 6-time NBA champion, league MVP, 13-time All-Star, 8-time league leader in assists.
Played against
I get
chimney
it.
cleaners.
For his time, he was great. He's a Hall of Famer. And if you're ranking everyone relative to their greatness in their time, that's different, and maybe you could put him in the top 10 in that case. But I can't go back and watch highlights of this man, and rightfully say that, keep in mind without a 3-point line, this dude is better than anyone ahead of him on this list. Number 15, the Magic with Penny Hardaway.
Oh, I
Had
love
it
Penny
not
Hardaway,
have been
man.
For injuries, 6'7" Penny
My
Hardaway
go-to
could've
point
been
guard
one
on
of the
my team.
greatest point guards of all time. He had size, could rebound, shoot, pass, and move like a guard. But because his career ended early, he was only good enough for number 15. 14. The Pelicans, who used to be the Hornets with Chris Paul.
CP3?
Alright, based on his entire career, I have CP3 easily in the top 10 point guards of all time. And the fact that he was able to bring the Thunder into the playoff picture this year, and on top of him making the Clippers and the Hornets instant playoff teams, only backs up his case for belonging here. Especially for his diversity, having shown that he was able to play second option with James Harden successfully, all while doing what he is for OKC this late in his career. But since we can only count his Hornets days, he stays at 14. Number 13, the Blazers with Damian Lillard. I mean, the
Damn,
only
over Chris
knock you
Paul?
can make towards Dame's game
Over
would be
Chris
his
Paul?
defense isn't the best. Besides that, though, he can shoot.
Even
he's a great
Pelicans Chris
teammate,
Paul,
is
Hornets Chris Paul.
obviously
I don't
clutch,
know.
Can pass and average nearly 30 a game this year. And he's been able to do that in the playoffs with not much help aside from CJ McCollum. If the Blazers do ever get him another All-Star to play with, though, I could definitely see him making it deep into the playoffs and ranking much higher one day. Number 12, the Bulls with Derrick Rose.
There we
Even though
go.
his time was limited, D Rose was on the top of the world in Chicago. Youngest MVP ever, and was leading his team to 60 wins on top of the Eastern Conference. Looking like they could be a
Oh, bitch
championship
ass
team.
NBA's keeping this man out of Orlando for whatever reason. Like, he would have been completely healthy if Luke Kennard, man, would have been game over. Like, give us 8 games, we would have got that 8 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Before his injury.
Or lost every game and got the first pick in the draft. Could have went either way.
Ever seen from a point
Probably
guard.
the
11.
Yeah.
The Cavs with Kyrie Irving. And okay, this one and the next one are tricky. Now, I don't know if he belongs one spot ahead of Rose, but I think numbers 12, 11, and 10 all belong in
Kyrie's
one
a little too high
where
for
they
my
can all
liking.
be swapped
I
out
like
for each
Kyrie
other
too, but he's
based
too
on how
high.
you look at it. For Kyrie, though, I put him here because he's a near 40% shooter from 3 and played a huge part in helping LeBron win that championship. Something that D-Rose at 12 and number 10.
But I guess, riddle me this, though. If you replace Kyrie on that LeBron Cavs team with a prime Derrick Rose, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, you know, how are you sitting out there? Probably still pretty well, if not better in some cases.
And LeBron wouldn't have done it without Kyrie. I mean, with Love
That's
out
no
for
disrespect
most
to
of
Kyrie
those
either.
playoffs, Irving was having multiple big 30 and 40-point games, plus hitting a lot of the clutch shots down the stretch, especially in Game 7 to win the entire championship. I mean, we've seen that he's clearly not a leader, but definitely one of the best second options possible. Number 10, the Thunder with Russell Westbrook. So Rose has an MVP, Kyrie has a championship, and Russell has an MVP of his own. And he's climbed a lot of people's all-time point guards list for that season, along with his multiple triple-double seasons. I mean, Oscar Robertson ranks at least top 3 in mostly everyone's top point guards list because of that reason. And Russ averaged a triple-double while leading the league in scoring with over 30 points a game. I think though the only reason that he doesn't rank higher is because he didn't and doesn't do it as efficiently and struggles to advance in the postseason. 9. The Spurs with Tony Parker. I mean, Tony was the perfect point
Tony
guard
was
for the
nice,
Spurs.
but
he was a quiet player, and even though he was undersized and really wasn't an athletic player, he was one of the best.
I don't got much to say about him.
Was the perfect teammate and excelled in clutch moments, which is how he played a big part.
I guess my issue is that I don't think Tony Parker is the 9th greatest point guard of all time, and that once again, not disrespecting Tony Parker, he definitely belongs on this list, no doubt, for the Spurs. He was the perfect piece for that Spurs team. But, you know, sometimes fit outshines talent. And I'm not saying he wasn't talented. He obviously was talented. I don't know.
Winning his
you guys let me know. Got my
championships
slinky.
and won Finals MVP in 2007. Number 8, the Knicks with Walt Frazier. Frazier's not ever really talked about
Dennis
too much,
Smith,
but does wind up in most people's top 10 point guards of all time. For averaging 26 and 6 during his prime, and making
Raymond
the
Felton,
All-NBA
too.
defensive first team
Lynn
7
Sandy for 2
years
weeks.
in a row. Plus, he helped lead the Knicks to their only 2 championships. Number 7, though, belongs to the Nets for Jason Kidd. And alright, Jason Kidd was never a big-time scorer, even though he could get you a triple-double on any night.
Add the 3 later in his career.
The reason that he ranks as high is, well, listen to this. The season before Kidd got drafted to the Mavs, they finished with a 13-69 record. His first season there, they improved to 36-46. The season before he got traded to the Suns, Phoenix finished 40-42. The season after he got
it made everybody better.
56-26. Then the season after he left, they went back down to 36-46. But here's the big one. The season before he got traded to the New Jersey Nets, they had a 26-56 record.
Byron Scott was coaching
season there, where very little changes were made to the team. They went 52-30 and made it to the NBA Finals. Then made the finals again the next season, and you get the point. He made his entire team better wherever
Then they lost
he played,
to the Pistons,
and that's why he ranks as
and
high.
Chauncey should be higher than Kidd.
Number 6, the Suns with Steve Nash. And Nash basically did the same thing for the Suns. 29-53 record before getting him. 62-20 his first season there. Then went on to make them look like title contenders nearly every year that he played there, all while winning 2 MVPs. And a lot of people say that he shouldn't have won them, but hey, in the record books, he's the guy that has them. Plus, he was way ahead of his time.
Bro, he got his, oh my god! Tyreek! Bro, look where that hand is, man! I'm not talking about that hand. You guys might not, I might be in the way. Oh yeah, I'm in the way. Oh my, Jesus. Okay, let's just put me back right there. We'll block that out.
The number 5 goes
About
to
to be
the
a different
Jazz
type of
for John
tube.
Stockton. And John was never a guy that really was an MVP candidate and also has no championships. But having the longevity that he did, while setting a ton of all-time records, he earns a spot. Number 4, the Pistons with Isaiah Thomas.
I'm good with this.
Great all-around point guard that was actually an all-star every single season of his career except for his last.
I'm good with this.
And led his team to 2 championships. And Isaiah was really the total package when it came to a point guard. Number 3, the Kings with Oscar Robertson.
He didn't say enough about Isaiah.
Who definitely comes to mind when speaking of point guards that are the total package. I mean, a 6'5"
Davis got Curry
point
at
guard
2.
that personally could do it all. And as a team, he won a ring with Kareem. Number 2, the Warriors with Steph Curry. I really don't think that at this point any case can be made to not have Steph as the second greatest point guard ever. He's played some of the greatest personal and team basketball that we've ever seen, and really ever will see. And hey, with the pace he was on in 2016,
damn, Curry's second greatest point guard of all time.
Never joined the Warriors, who knows how many more MVPs he could have won in a row, if any. Number 1, the Lakers.
Magic
Johnson. And I mean, honestly, nothing needs to be said here, so I'm not gonna say.
All right, guys, that is the end of the video. Yeah, Chauncey. Oh yeah, not Chauncey. Isaiah was number 4. I was good with that. Chauncey was on the list, so definitely happy about that too, man. But yeah, what y'all think about this in the comment section below? Thank y'all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.